This is the NAD HP50, a closed-back, over-the-ear headphone created by a speaker manufacturer, and one that I hope is going to be able to compete with the NDH 20 from Neumann. This is a much cheaper alternative that I hope can not only keep pace with the Neumann, but possibly outdo them. So NAD has created three versions of their headphones. There's the HP30, which is kind of a very small and compact. Then there's the NAD HP50, which is this one, which is the medium. And then there's the 70, which is a wireless version of the 50. And because we're audiophiles, we obviously go with the wired version. Now, one thing I have to say about the boxing, despite some of the scuffs and everything on top of it, is that it's really well boxed. This headphone is packaged in a very upfront and unpretentious manner. On the side, the left side of the box, it says, "We don't care about your lifestyle, we care about your ears." Now that is refreshing, isn't it? Yeah, it's marketing, and yes, it's mumbo jumbo, but it sets a good tone for the headphones, I think. There's a little tab on the front that opens up like a book, and the tab is going to allow you to see inside, but we're not going to do that. We are just going to get to the unboxing. You slide out the inside box, and the first thing that you're hit with is the instruction manual. It tells you, hey, look, you can change the pads, and there's wires in there, and hey, there's a warranty. The box comes included with this really nifty carrying case sort of thing that has a carabiner. I don't know why manufacturers always think that we need carabiners for our headphones. A wire and another wire. And the second wire, this one, has inline controls. Now, it says it's for iOS devices, but the inline control should work just fine with any device. This is a 3.5mm jack into the headphone, as well as a 3.5mm jack into your source, but they provide a 1/4-inch adapter, which is kind of nice. They also provide an airplane adapter and a silicone pack in case you want to kill yourself. The inside of this little container has little springy Cordex things, well, whatever it is, it's there to hold things down. However, whoever packaged this simply didn't utilize it. On the inside of the box, at the very bottom, is this really nifty case, and at first blush, it looks like, how could you carry anything in this? But I'll show you at the end that you indeed can. It's fake leather on the outside, but it's very nice. It's not particularly padded, but it should keep everything nice and snug inside. At the very bottom of that box is just warranty information and another silicone packet. Now let's take a look at this headphone. It's really shiny, and look, let's be honest, it's a plasticky feel. The outer cup is plastic, the hinges are plastic, the headphone, the ear pads don't really, well, they're oval shaped, but that's a little too oval shaped if you ask me. But the ear pads themselves are rather comfortable, partly because the headphones are quite light. On the top you have Viso written on there because that's NAD's line of headphones, Viso. But the padding is quite substantial, especially since these headphones weigh next to nothing. The sliding mechanism on the headband is fairly good. It's metal and it clicks into place. On the side, just above each ear cup, is the indication of left and right, and on the bottom you have two jacks. No, this is only a single jack, but they give you two because theoretically you can daisy chain this headphone to another headphone if you want to have somebody else listen. That might be good for monitoring if you're in the studio, but really in real life for normal people it doesn't really help, except for the fact that you can place the 3.5mm jack on either side and it doesn't really matter. The left and right indications are already stated on the headphone, so just make sure you wear it correctly. Plugging in the headphones, the first thing I noticed that was rather intriguing is that they sounded a little bit like speakers to me, and I have some fairly good Kanto speakers, and I know what speakers sound like out of my just normal experience with them, and these headphones seem to sound a little bit like speakers, and that's a great thing, especially if you want to use headphones for mixing and mastering in the studio. Now, what NAD calls this is room feel. It's a technology that they created, and they state on the back of the box, our sound scientists created room feel to translate the warm, open sound of live performance directly into your private headphone experience. The result is a headphone innovation that dramatically expands the whole soundstage. You have to hear it to know what you've been missing. NAD, game-changing audio once again. Yeah, a lot of marketing mumbo-jumbo, but I have to say, they might actually be somewhat right about this. It does kind of sound like you're listening to a pair of speakers in a room, and that's really hard to do. Now, here's the case. I thought that you'd have to lay these things flat in order for the case to close, but it doesn't work that way. Trust me, I tried it. Instead, you just place it in there like you would normally, and the case will just close right up. It's rather nifty. It doesn't take up much bulk or room or anything. Overall, gosh, I'm somewhat surprised with this plasticky headphone.